How did how did it go, Nancy, today?
Yeah, it's going
Yeah,
great today.
Phyllis,
Yeah, I look for the recording.
Okay.
I was double booked, so I will look at the recording.
Yeah, today we talked about pricing and doing some research to ensure you have the right topic, and then talked a bit about sort of overall principles that you need to think about for design. And I'll probably open with how I closed tomorrow. And tomorrow we're actually going to really get more to how to design the program. That'll be the focus for the next 3 days. So,
Oh, lovely.
Small but mighty group today, but it's all good.
Excellent. Yeah. And be sure to put in the chat your contact information and then the link to your challenge. And then Cindy Chosik, I'm going to put you on the spot because you're having a Q&A coming up on Thursday and you are on mute, girl. You could come off mute and talk to us.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It's such a challenge.
My LinkedIn profile link. Yes, I am. I'm having my first official complimentary Q&A for whoever's interested in writing a book, in the process of writing a book, or in the process of publishing. And we're going to cover all questions A to Z, from concept to cash when writing your book. So it's just an open house to ask whatever questions you like. And then whoever attends is able to, will be invited to join our private Facebook community.
That's right.
I'm creating at the urging of Kathleen. So Kathleen's helping me expand my community.
Yay.
Expand everything.
Excellent. Excellent. Yes.
Very
Good.
exciting. Very, very exciting. Thank you for the opportunity to mention it.
Absolutely. So this broadcast, welcome to the Women's Coaching and Consulting Council. Trusted advisors, coaches, consultants, advisors in this realm and other realms, right, Annalee? All realms. Carrie, here on vacation, doing our best as thought leaders, and Nancy creating courses and becoming an author. Everything. We're covering all grounds here, right, ladies? Yes. So your time is valuable. Okay. Your time is valuable and I value you. So here we go. We're going to talk about your purpose. You know what, so we can view this a couple ways. Oh my gosh, I got stuff to do. I don't have time to talk about my purpose. Well, let's take the next 55 minutes of our lives to talk about our purpose, because without our strong purpose, hello, we're just doing machines, right? And I'm just curious for each of you, are you a little over doing, going on a constant, nonstop doing machine? Can you relate to any of that?
Yes.
Yes. So my intention for the next little while, and we're going to be done right before the top of the hour because this is a challenge today, and I'll just show you a couple slides if that works. I'm not going to knock you down with a lot of different PowerPoints, but I like to use these to get ourselves centered. So here we are. There's our 4-day challenge. Purpose, prosperity, and power. That's what we're talking about today. And today is the first day of our challenge to talk about purpose. And as you may or may not know, if you're watching our broadcast, because we have people all over the world watching our broadcasts, ladies and gentlemen, we are so thrilled. Friends, family, you're all family, C-Suite Network family. I'm Kathleen Caldwell, founder of our council. I'm an author, speaker, trusted advisor. I have the Women's Success Accelerator year-long program. And my purpose in life is to help people feel successful and to help them love their lives. That's my purpose. Very simple. Help people feel successful. And when they're feeling successful, they're then successful, and helping them to love their life. So we're going to craft a purpose statement. I'm going to ask you a whole bunch of questions. We're going to get you, not a whole bunch of questions, a couple, and get the conversation going so that when you leave here at the end of our time together, you're going to feel more grounded, more certain in why are you doing what you're doing professionally, purposefully, professionally, in every area of your life. Okay. And that's my purpose. So today is connecting. Our challenge is connecting with your purpose. Tomorrow is connecting with your prosperity. Thursday, connecting with your power. And we have Linda Conyard coming on to talk about having more power as coach, consultant, trusted advisor, thought leader. And then Friday, we're going to come together and talk about connecting with your community on the C-Suite Celebrates this Friday. Okay. So I am curious, could I get a little assist here to read purpose? Because it's not only a noun, but it's also a verb. I love to start with definitions so we know what we're talking about. Who would love to jump in and read for us?
I can do that for you.
Carrie, thank you.
You're welcome.
We welcome you. We want to hear your voice.
Well, purpose is what I'm all about. So I love this topic. So the reason for which something exists or is done, made, used, etc. Number 2, an intended or desired result, end, aim, or goal. Determination, resoluteness.
Nice.
As a verb, number 1, it's to set as an aim, intention, or goal for oneself. And number 2, to intend or design.
Thank you. Thank you. Dictionary.com. We are loving it. Yes. So again, what's the reason that we're doing everything that we're doing? We're also very busy, and, to really stop and think every day, what is it that I'm doing and why am I doing it? So my first question to each of you, and love to have a conversation about this, and whether you want to type this in the chat, whether you want to type this into your computer, write it down, whatever you want to do, is in regard to your purpose. What do you want for yourself, for others, and for your life personally? This is a personal kind of thing. We'll get over to professional in the next slide, but what do you want for yourself and for others and for life on a personal note? So just curious what your answer would be. What do you want? And I shared with you what do I want is I want people to feel success. What does success mean? Well, hello, it means something different for everyone. And guess what? It creates the conversation about what do you want around success? Yeah. So when it comes to your purpose, what do you want for yourself and for others and for life personally? So I'm going to stop sharing and just curious, what do you want for yourself around your purpose?
This is so silly. Then I don't know if anybody else knows, but I'm like really puzzled. Like, it's funny. Like, you answered it from you want to make other people successful. So that's not really a personal, that's a professional, right? So
Well,
it's easier for me personally to answer professional questions. But for me personally, I have to think, I still have to think about it. Let me think about it.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. And let me insert something in here. And, I also want to just take a pause here. Ladies, friends, colleagues, gentlemen, friends that are watching this broadcast, give a little pat on your back. We're doing this broadcast at 5 p.m. Eastern. Most of us have had a full day already in, so to be thinking about this purpose question at the end of the day, I'm going, kudos to you. Let's give each other a little love for that. Okay. Yeah. A little love. Yeah. And, for me, I just would like to just share is for people to feel successful personally, professionally, because what I personally see in the world, and this can be part of your purpose, is I see there are things that are happening in the world, the state of our world right now. And I think that, this is, I want to get over to you, but part of what drives me is I have been touched in my family with addiction. And I know specifically that it was coming from a feeling of not feeling successful, not feeling worthy, not feeling hopeful, not having a purpose in life that caused, and I'm just being very, very transparent here, my beloved nephew to turn to drugs. Rest in peace, Alec. Love that little boy. So that drives my purpose, is if he were feeling successful, feeling happy, feeling purposeful, feeling hopeful, he had a purpose in his life, drugs and that whole community would not have been so appealing to him.
Mm.
So this purpose has a real personal calling. Yeah. So
Mhm.
it means something to me personally. Yeah. Curious what you each are thinking too.
I always think about freedom. The freedom to live
Mm,
the life of, your choosing, it's, uh, and your comment about your nephew touched me because I was married to an alcoholic, and
mhm.
there was just a hole so big in him, and he just couldn't figure out how to fill it.
Yeah.
With anything other than vodka.
Mhm. Right.
And which comes back around to me for freedom, because the financial drain of an experience like that is really takes its toll. So trying to rebuild, have the financial freedom that can lead to to have more to live more with ease, maybe
Yeah.
is a better word for me personally, to just feel like I'm not there's no worry, there's not the stress, there's not the strife, but just like,
Yeah.
I got this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can make
Yes.
things happen for myself.
Right.
I get to choose.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Freedom. Awesome. And I'm just curious, those of you who resonate with what Nancy just said, let's give you some love there, Nancy. Yeah. Yeah. Freedom. Yeah. Hope, freedom, possibility. Please, Anna Lee, please jump in. Thanks, Nancy. Mhm.
Looked at that recently quite a lot. I think for me, it's both two things. One is happiness, and I know that sounds very vague, and love. And the reason I know that now is that I have a number of experiences early in life and later where I didn't know what happiness was. I also didn't know what love was. My mother always told me that I'm incapable of love. And I learned as a Catholic girl, that there is this all-loving God, and I didn't understand why there would be different religions if there's only one God. And so it led me onto a very, very interesting, very comprehensive journey. But this business about love was interesting because, of course, I believed my mother that I was incapable of that. And it wasn't until I was 35 years old when my one and only former boss, I only worked for one company in my life for 4 years, and then that I was independent, introduced me to about 200 people as a local or the area manager, and said, and this ladies and gentlemen, is one of the most loving women I've ever met. So when I took him back to the hotel, I asked him, I said, did you mean that, what you said? And he said, yeah, of course. And then I didn't say anything, and he kept probing and said, what are you talking about?
Wow.
Well, I said, you know how you introduced me? He said, what about introducing you? So it went back and forth. And I said, well, you said, that I know you know thousands of people in your business, but you said I'm one of the most loving women you know. He said, yeah, what's the matter with you? And I said, well, my mother, always told me that I was incapable of love. So I was always looking for others to learn from them what that's all about. And he looked at me and he said, what a horrible thing to say to a child. And it was not until that moment that I realized what a terrible thing that was.
Mhm.
And I had already my first doctorate. So you would think that something had shifted in my head, but it didn't. And it was like, I started then on my journey of self-discovering yes, that I am a very loving woman. And my work with the Academy is about ultimate freedom and happiness and love.
Excellent.
Yep.
Excellent. So freedom, happiness, love, success. Beautiful. These are great purposes. Yeah. Yeah. How about you, Carrie? How about you, Cindy? Purpose.
Well, I don't know how deep we want to dive here because I can talk about this for an entire weekend.
You go where you want to go, lady.
Yeah. Well, the reason I say that is because my entire career I'm known as a vision and purpose expert. This is what I teach. This is what I train. And when I say I can literally do this for 3 days, I mean that. I've done 3-day events on this topic. So
that's the short course, right, Nancy?
Yes.
Carrie, I'm sorry. Carrie, forgive me. Yeah. Thank you.
So I think about this a lot. I have my vision for my life written out in great detail in every area of my life. And I teach other people how to do that. So my purpose that I believe is to help other people get connected to their purpose.
Excellent.
I've known for a long time that that's my calling. So personally, what I want in my personal life is to do that for other people. I guess that would be professionally too, but I also have been touched by tragedy. I've lost both my husband and my son to suicide in the past 8 years, 3 years apart. And so, and I was teaching vision and purpose before this happened. And now, I mean, I'm like on a mission, because it's no secret that we have epidemics off the scale right now with depression, addictions, suicide, and so on. So, so that's what I want, is I want to course correct that.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you. Big kisses.
Love this
Nancy,
topic.
Annalie, Carrie. Yeah, no kidding. Big kisses. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Cindy, how about you? What's emerging for you, dear?
Well, I love that you're intertwining it with the professional, because I speak professional more than personal. I don't know, it's easier for me. But it is interrelated. And so my whole purpose really is to change lives, save lives, celebrate lives, is my new tagline, which, you know, for the last 6 months I've been working with. And it's so true, because ever since I was 4, I knew I was going to make a difference in this earth. And so, in this world.
Yes.
And so what's come out of that is that the niche, if you want to call it that, my specialty is really to lead authors to write books that heal. And the reason why I do that is because the process that I help, guide them through, is it ends up being, as they're trying to heal other people, they heal within themselves. And I think a lot of us know that writing our book is cathartic. And so, and how that relates to personal, my company name is So Connected. And, similar to Carrie here, she wants to be connected to their purpose. I want people, including my family and myself and the people that I work with, to be connected with that which makes them accept, understand, and know that they're important. So that is really what it is. I want people to feel good. And my background out of that is depression, anxiety, and suicidal ideation and planning. So Carrie, I can feel for you. My heart is out there for you. And it's come this way because I believe that I was put in those situations so that I could help other people understand it and then heal from it for themselves and the people they love. So yeah, I mean, that's the whole purpose. I didn't realize how attached it was to the personal.
Yeah,
So it's interesting.
what a great point, because what a great point, Cindy, because, how can we, at the end of the day, I think so many people, and me included, is we try to detach the person, or compartmentalize the personal and the professional. But, it's our purpose is really, I think, who we are, what we're standing for in the world. What is our stand? And, let me jump back in and ask a couple more questions. So even just deepening, what is it that you want for yourself? The bigger picture, the global view, and what is it that's truly most important to you? And of course, thank you, Annalie, Nancy, Carrie, and Cindy. The freedom, the success, the happiness, the love, of course, and for people to feel their purpose, live their purpose, and to have the work we do an expression of that and who we be, right? How can we, at the end of the day, separate who we're being with our stand in the world? So part of today, my goal for our time together is to have us really shine the light on what is our purpose and how can we be that more of the time. And, of course, the next question is, what do you want professionally for your clients? You know, how does this then express in, you know, the clients that we work with? How do we want them to show up professionally? And how is it that we want freedom, success, happiness, love, purpose to show up more for them? Curious question, you know. I think you'll all agree that if people are showing up with more of those attributes we've been talking about, they'd probably be happier at work, right? You know, or
Mhm.
and they'd be feeling more successful, feeling more on track, more on purpose. So to really then think about what it is that you want for your clients, you know, to be able, this is part of, as we talk about all the time in our council, our offer. You know, what is it that we're offering to them? Because people have to get their minds around how do they translate purpose into results. Sad to say, but you know, they need to take the intangible and make it tangible. So we've already answered this question very thoroughly, but you know, why is it that you do what you do? Part of your purpose.
Mhm.
And what is it that you do, what do you offer that's unique and also at the same time excites you? You know, you're really excited about that. So I'd like to pause and ask you that question. Then we've just got, you know, we'll keep moving forward, but you know, what is it that you do that really excites you and you feel is really unique?
Mm.
Now, the challenge we have here is that we could go on and on and on, I'm sure forever to talk about that. But, you know, I call it really spiritual sharing, where we get to the heart of what it is, our purpose, the difference it makes, the offer that we make, you know, like to get to the nub of it. And, you know, we can spend a lifetime figuring that out and doing that. But, you know, I think being able to just say, hey, my purpose is this, and this is how it helps people, or this is how it makes a difference for them. I think we've been kind of talking about this a bit anyway, but some thoughts that you have about this, your offer, what excites you?
Well, what excites me, of course, is the new information that I have had the privilege to have access to and translate and create this enormous curriculum. So my reason, a number of reasons, but one of them is that through this knowledge and the application of this knowledge, it's not just here, but it's integrated knowledge.
Mhm.
People have a really beautiful life. They can figure out their purpose. They find out what they have to do to fulfill whatever they have to fulfill in this incarnation, so that their soul gets complete and that they don't have a return and can move on into different dimensions for more learning. So it's a very long-term investment for anyone to get involved with that. But the results that I have seen is that people are clearing up or cleaning up their relationships. They forgive themselves, they forgive others. They have much more accountability and a whole lot less fear about anything. And so the understanding of inner freedom and mastery of freedom is practiced, is done. It's not just here. And I see that happening. And that is so interesting to me with people who have different intellectual capabilities. So it's not a matter that people have to have university education or anything like that. Everyone learns at their level and does whatever is in front of them in their life right now to handle. And to witness that and to see that and to celebrate with them and to encourage and all this, it is so rewarding that I feel that everything that is so difficult in between turns into, so what? It's all worth it.
Excellent. Yes, Annalie, your clarity, since I have known you for the past year and a half, 2 years, is just so very pronounced now.
Well, thank you.
Yes, I see it. And you know, I can see you really living your purpose and helping other people to do the same by clearing out, getting clarity, Annalie, getting clarity and getting in action. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Cindy, Carrie, you know, some thoughts about, why do you do it? What is the opportunity to become clients of yours, something that's unique about that excites you too.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been coaching for a really long time. And historically, up until about a year and a half ago, I attracted a lot of female, somewhat new entrepreneurs, mostly service-based entrepreneurs, because they were running really expensive hobbies.
Right.
And it's because they were not really clear on their vision. They didn't have a game plan that monetized and all that. But about a year and a half ago, I went to my mentor and said, I'm kind of feeling like it's ready. I'm ready for a new adventure, expand. I didn't know what that looked like, but I left some space open, and I got introduced to a company last year that has a digital product that helps people figure out their purpose, put all their goals in, and it has an app connected to it so that people can write their 3 daily intentional things and stay consistent. Because, the key to everything in life is consistency, right? So very excited that I got introduced to this company, because it was a tool that I was getting ready to create maybe about 10 years ago and spend a lot of money on. And I could not have done it justice with what these guys have done. So very excited to be a part of a community that is all about what I'm about. And I feel like right now, and this is the direction I'm heading, is working with corporate leaders and team leaders to help them get more clear on their vision and purpose. Because even with a level of success professionally, I am finding that most of them are very unfulfilled and don't have a clear vision for the long term for their life, right? And so when that happens with the leader, it kind of creates a lot of cloudiness in the team.
Yes.
Yeah. So I really want to be focused on that, because, and you said this, I think a minute ago, Kathleen, that there's a huge need for this in the workforce right now.
Oh, absolutely.
Huge need. So
we could be working lifetimes in this. So yes, Carrie, excellent. Congratulations on this work. Really important.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Great. It's really cool. I love that app idea.
Yeah.
I also realized that what is often overlooked in all this work around vision statement and mission development and all that is really deeper personal work. And very few CEOs that I encountered are really willing to look deeper and to let go of some of those things that inhibits them to be their best self. And that's a very courageous thing to do. Not everyone is willing to do that and let their guard down and ask those very important personal questions about self. And it is an ongoing journey also. So I also would highly recommend that someone who is in a very potent type of leadership position to continue to having either a mentor or advisor or friend or coach or whatever you want to call it, just to check in and to stay present, because we get so easily, including us, distracted by all the details of life, that to spend time regularly to be present with oneself is really an important activity. And so I just really love the subject, Kathleen, and I would like to stress as much as I can how important that is to have that time, to give oneself that time to reflect and to think and to ponder and to evaluate, etc. All this, that's part of continuous self-presence.
You are so right about that, because this year and a half has been probably one of the most painful I've been through. Because it is time, it is that what you're talking about, where you have to allow space for it to happen, which means letting go of a lot of the doing stuff. Queen of the doer club over here, guys, which I have had to really work on this year.
I'll fight you for it.
You can have a queendom, right?
It only gets you so far, and it got me 2 successful businesses, but I was just feeling like I don't want to be that anymore, right? Like we were talking about at the top of the call. And so I literally went to some of my mentors and said, how do I do this? And they said, it's not going to be easy, because you've been operating this way for 40 plus years. And they were right. I let a lot of things go. And for somebody that's a doer, it's almost like it feels very unsettling. You feel like you're doing something wrong. So I literally had to hire a coach 2 months ago, you guys, that is just really, I mean, he doesn't give me a to-do list. He gives me a B list,
Mm.
you know,
Wow.
challenging, but
Wow.
I wanted to expand. And this is what God said. Okay, so we're going to cut off anything that's not working for you anymore. And it's going to take some time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sounds
Yeah,
like
that.
excellent.
It's awesome.
Well, and thank you, Carrie, and thank you, Anna Lee. And Cindy, will jump over to you, because how can we teach it if we aren't living it,
Yeah.
right? There's an inauthenticity there to it. So
So true.
yes, and as Cindy knows, we talk about frequently, and of course in our council too, is that our journey is instructive. So whatever we're going through, it's another fabulous
Lesson to
growth
learn.
opportunity. AVCO, another fabulous growth opportunity. Okay, great. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So thanks for sharing that, Carrie and
Yeah.
Anna Lee. Thank you. Yeah. Cindy, how about you? What is it that you feel is exciting you about your purpose?
Oh, I
Yeah.
love what I do. I
Yes, you
absolutely
do.
love what I do. And it's really interesting, Annalie, because I can relate to you on the mother side. So my whole life I always wanted to be a therapist. I love psychology and high school and everything. And my mom, when I was getting ready to go to college, my mom said, "Well, you can't be a therapist. Nothing bad has ever happened to you, and you won't be able to help it." Right. And so, and I'm like, oh, she's still in denial today, like 40 years later. Right. So there's a lot of things that were going on back then. So, but what's been beautiful is that if your purpose is truly your purpose, you're going to get there some way, one way or the other. And I feel like God has given me all these steps along the way to get to where I am today. And it's phenomenal, really. So, the opportunity and the gift that I get when I work with each of my authors is um, it's magnificent, it's humbling, it's an exchange of energy and trust and beauty and grace. And why it's so magnificent is because someone sharing their story, and lots of time, all the time, especially in this healing books, right? The healing books. And for whatever reason, since I opened my business as a marketing agency 9 years ago, before I went full-time ghostwriting, um, I've always attracted therapists, coaches, business owners, and speakers, right? So it's kind of an eclectic group if you think about it, because they are able to be vulnerable. They are able to share a story. And when they share their stories with me, there's something in me that, well, I love knowing other people's stories. And I love having the opportunity to take what they're sharing with me and turn it into words in a book and find the value in it, help them find the extreme value that they can offer their readers. Because I feel that when we have something that happens to us, like my depression, my suicidal ideations, and all this trauma and all these other things, when we can use it to help other people, it makes it more meaningful and purposeful. And we're able to, use it with power and make other people, help other people to, not have as many lessons to learn, save money, the hobbies carry, and also just find, avoid all the mistakes. I can't tell you how many mistakes I've made. And luckily Kathleen's here to, help me prevent them in the future. But it's so empowering, and it's so meaningful when I can do the work that I do. And I had the highlight of my life, my career 3 weeks ago, when one of my authors came to me and said, "Cindy, I'm not the same man I was 6 months ago when we started working together. I feel like I've transformed and healed, and I've been able to forgive this person and this person, this person." And it was just unbelievable that I was able to help guide him down that path. And a lot of people tell me that, and I can't think of any better mission or purpose or plan than being able to help someone see the beauty in them and that they matter. And that is really like people matter. And a lot of people don't know that. And they need to know that we all matter. We all matter. There's a reason for all of us. And
Yeah.
that's the biggest thing out of what I do.
You know, years ago, I wanted to be, I wanted to know if I have any healing abilities, you know, like there are different skill sets that different healers have. And so I asked the spiritual world, you know, what am I good for? And the message was, you are a soul healer. And I thought, what the heck is a soul healer? But now over the years, I recognize that so many of us can be soul healers in very unique ways. And it's not that we have to necessarily do something, but just often be there. And it looks like, Cindy, when I hear you speak and get a feeling sense of you, that you have such an empathic and loving presence that it allows people to almost naturally move forward or transform or explore or do whatever they're doing. And that's where I see, if I may say so, your strengths.
Thank you so much.
Being a soul healer in your work.
Oh,
And
thank you.
Carrie, I don't know you that well yet. This is our first meeting, but my sense of you also is that in your way, even though it's much more in the corporate or within the corporate umbrella, you do the same thing. And then, of course, our leader, Kathleen, is igniting tons of women to go that path. But this is not typically a language that we use. And so I just wanted to share that concept of having a different aspect of healing, not in the, you know, no bone healing or anything like that, but in a different way, which is, again, very long-term and very profound.
It's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that, Annalie.
Lovely.
Wonderful. Yeah.
Wonderful compliment. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. So thank you. And so our final question is a very, very simple question, ha ha tee hee, which is, what would be possible in the world if your and your clients, you know, the clients that we're working with, and I have an itchy nose. I'm so sorry. That's on the recording. We're being real here. Itchy nose. Yeah. Okay. Because something's up here. I'm itching to tell you this. So the big question here is, you know, a client came to me this morning and we had a coaching call and she was saying, you know, I'm just not feeling motivated. I'm just feeling a little stuck. And boy, we can all relate to that. And it was really a conversation about purpose, really about purpose, and to be able to take the intangible and make it tangible, to think what would be possible in the world if your purpose was fulfilled, you were successful in your purpose, and also not just your purpose, but you were able to convey to your clients and help them with their purpose. What would be possible? So I'd like to engage in our final question here about what would be possible, to really start to think really big here. What would be possible when your purpose is fulfilled? And I'm just being bold to say that, you know, when people are feeling successful, feeling in love with their life, why would we have war? Why would we have, we'd have a world that's peaceful, prosperous, healthy. Love is the default. Now, for me, that's a legacy that I want to live every day. And so, you know, my purpose, like, it gets me up and out of bed every day to say, I have, you know, at least 4 billion women on the planet that I'm driven and inspired to help them with their purpose, to help them feel more successful, to help create communities of cohesion and possibility and opportunity. So, you know, I have no time to waste. And specifically, I don't have any time to waste with being bored or feeling distracted or feeling unmotivated. It's like, you know, and it's this fine edge between being motivated and inspired and then like overworking it, you know. And I think we all know the difference, you know, by feeling we're living in our purpose, by being on purpose, as opposed to being, you know, striving, driving, all that other stuff, you know. Yep. So just curious for each of you, what would you like to boldly declare is possible in the world when you're living your purpose and your purpose, you're fulfilling your purpose?
Does it have to be realistic?
Absolutely not. It should not be.
Okay.
let's just swing out there. And this would be
Yeah.
something really, really good, something to live into, right?
Yeah. There's the realistic part of it, and then there's the, dream that probably, I don't know that it would be doable, but like no mental health issues ever again. No diseases, no illnesses, no dying by suicide, no stigma, no nothing. We're all mentally healthy,
Yeah.
wealthy and wise.
And fully self-expressed and able to live their story, own their story, and pay their story forward, right?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. And to be maybe free of their story and to be able to proudly express their stories, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
probably the story of the guy with the sand dollar on the beach. Have you heard that story?
Mhm.
Mm. Remind us again, Annalie. Yeah.
Take away the
Okay, there's
starfish.
this man walking along the beach and he picks up these half-dead sand dollars, right, and throws them back into the water. And someone else comes along and said, "That's a stupid thing to do. There's thousands of them, but why do you do this for?" And he said, "Well, it does make a heck of a difference to this guy." So the reason I'm saying that is that we will not be able to change the world because of what I learned to know about the world, but we have in front of us our environment, our world, our reach to make a difference to individuals, and maybe to small groups, maybe even to larger groups.
Mhm.
That is
Mhm.
wonderful. And if everyone or if many of us have a similar idea that we can just save one sand dollar at a time, I think that is wonderful. And that incorporates the dream and the reality, I believe. And so that motivates me that I keep doing what I'm doing, even if I don't reach the 7 million people and women and men and children that I want to reach in my lifetime. But I'm working towards having that possible after I'm gone. So my investment with my academy program is so comprehensive that it can last for several hundred years, and it's timely. It's not going to be outdated. And so I'm working towards it, but I know that my time is limited and that I can't waste it, just like you said, Kathleen. You summarized beautifully what I would have said also. We have our own ways of doing that and putting our little plug into wherever we can do good work and do God's work. That's how I see it. And that is so wonderful. And you provide a platform for us to share that and to ignite each other and support each other. And hopefully, if we have some people watching this, trigger their own light to share it with others.
Mhm.
Yeah. And just do our best every day, right? Just do our best. Yes. Carrie, how about you? Thank you, Annalie. Beautiful. Thank you, Cindy. Beautiful. Yes. Carrie, how about you? What's possible in the world when you're living your purpose?
Well, I think we've all covered it in one way or another. It's a world that we can't imagine because unfortunately, because we are a fallen world, it will never be perfect on this side of heaven. But I have a real passion for the kiddos right now, to be honest with you.
Mm.
I really, really feel for our kids and our young adults because they are struggling. And there's so many reasons they're struggling. And, an educational system that needs to be revamped. If we were living our purpose as parents, we can allow them to be who they are and not put our stuff on them. And that's, I think, a big problem also. We've got broken people raising more broken people. And I think if we were working more on ourselves to live out our purpose and be an example and have that joy and be at peace with ourselves, we would not have to pass that down, right? I think this is because I have a 2-year-old grandson now. And I really, really am so focused on making sure that he's raised in this family, knowing who he is and being allowed to be who he is. So I see generations to come if we can really live out our purpose in a whole different way.
Brilliant, brilliant. Thank you. Oh my gosh. And to really get his purpose and live his purpose ultimately, right?
Yes.
Yeah. To be the full expression of who he is.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yes.
I got
Oh.
goosebumps when you were talking.
Aw.
So that's, you know, that's right on to
Yes.
focus on the kids, focus on
Yes.
young
Focus
on
on the
young
kids.
families. Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of Dr. Shafali Sabari. If you all
Mm,
don't follow her, I'll put it in the comments.
thank you very much.
Yeah, I heard her just randomly on a road trip on a YouTube, and this woman is brilliant, and she's all about what we're talking about right now around how not to take your stuff and put it onto your kids. That's my dumbed down version of it. The woman's brilliant. She's on Oprah all the time. I'll put it in the comments because it's an
Thank
unusual
you.
name.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes. So let's wrap up here. And you know, the big thing I believe for us all is, you know, thinking about what's possible in the world. By us living our purpose, that there's a greater calling for us, for our purpose. And, you know, let's bring it back to the practicality of business. You know, that's also why we're here is, you know, to create successful businesses is we get to swim in blue oceans by living our purpose. You know, the beautiful book, Blue Ocean Strategy, you know, let's get out of the shark infested, you know, waters of competition and, you know, cutthroat, you know, things. And we've had so many different sessions in our council about the fact that, you know, there are 23 million coaches on LinkedIn, or people that have a title about coach. Consultants, there are so many as well. And, you know, that as more and more people leave corporate and say, hey, you know, I've had a coach in corporate and I could be a coach, and we bless them and we welcome them. And at the same time, being a professional coach, guide, mentor, as you all are, trusted advisor, is it's our responsibility, I think, to move to blue oceans and to bring our clients to new oceans. And, you know, to be in areas where we're starting new conversations, we're having meaningful conversations. So as we wrap up here, just curious, you know, what's a takeaway from our discussion today? What's a thought about what's next? Because, you know, as I always say, in Annalee, you just let us right into this. Thank you. Thank you. The world needs you and your light, especially now more than ever, is we've got to come out of the darkness here, and we're the leaders. We've been called to be leaders. We've been called to be way showers. So bringing our light means living our purpose. So as we finish up, just curious, takeaways, thoughts about our time together. What was important to you about our session today, our challenge?
Well, like I said, could talk about this all day long. So I appreciate meeting each of you, because it's been a stimulating conversation. And it's just a great reminder to live in our higher purpose, right? Which is the being and less of the doing. And to not settle for less. It's easy, I think, for doers to do the smaller things, the do things, versus just allowing it to come forward, allowing it to be there, because it is already there. We just have to allow it to come forward. And just really stay in that higher calling. So this was a great reminder for me today. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Carrie. Thank you so much. Yes. Yeah. Take away from our time together. And also, you know, my next question will also be since we're in a challenge, I'm going to be challenging each of you and the people, our wonderful friends and family, to, as they're watching the recording, is what's something you're going to take as a next step around your purpose. So yeah. So thoughts and next steps.
For me, I love that. So I compartmentalize a little bit here. So when you were saying personally, you know, I'm like, okay, now I can't like lean into my professional, but it's all, you know, like all of you were the model example, the perfect model example of how it all intertwines with both. And so then that felt more natural to me. So, and what I love about that is to, you know, sometimes when we're on a mission in our business and our career, you know, we're not really sharing or really honing in or, you know, sharing those messages and the things we are doing for our clients with our family. So my kids are, all three of them are going to go to college this year, this fall. And I want to just make sure that I touch base with them and, spend some time with them to, make sure that they know how important they are and what they're about to embark on are going to be some of the best years of their lives. So, so that is very helpful. So that's one thing I'm taking away. And then the other thing I'm taking away, and this is something I'm really, sometimes when we're doing business and, they say, do the give, Jeff Hazlett is big into like give and reciprocal and all that stuff. And I totally believe that. And developing this Q&A for authors everywhere, whether they're going to work with me or not, it makes me feel really good.
Yeah.
Because it's just another extension of how much I want to lead people into sharing their stories with the world to help guide other people to either heal or change or transform their life in the way that they need to. So it's kind of like that whole, it just makes me feel better. And so this, like talking about our purpose, it just reinforces that, yeah, it's okay to give free stuff away and do it for other people, even though they may not sign up with you ever. And I've never been one to believe that was the case, that if I give something, I have to get something in return. Never. That's never, ever been part of who I am. But there's always that, well, is it worth like doing free stuff? And, and I totally believe that it's reciprocal, but sometimes you got to get that hang up in your head. So, but this just reinforced that, yes, let's let everybody ask their questions and just help people write their books, because that's how we change the world.
Right.
One story at a time.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. The sacred journey of living our purpose every day. And, I also think it's a long game, right? It's a long game.
Long game. Yeah, it sure is.
It's the long game. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Cindy, thank you so much. Yeah. Annalie, how about you? Takeaways, some next steps, some thoughts from our time today, and we're going to wrap up then.
About that for the last few minutes. I think what I very much liked and like is more in-depth discussions. And I feel that we had that today. There was a lot more real deeper personal sharing than usually is happening on Zoom calls. And it reminds me much of what we do in the academy. So we don't record, right? It's recorded, but we don't record. And there is such a need for that, that we are more real, more authentic, and talk about our own struggles and journeys, but not that it is a soap opera, but rather an example in how we move through that and how we use those experiences to make the world a little bit better. And that's what I really like. And I really appreciate, Carrie, also your sharing and meeting you for the first time. Maybe we can meet again.
I would love that. I've thoroughly enjoyed meeting all of you too.
Yeah.
So thank you, Kathleen, for doing that. And
Thank you.
I meet again tomorrow.
Delighted. Thank you. Yeah. So thank you. Tomorrow's topic is connecting with your prosperity. So we'll see you again, 5 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. Can't wait. And final comment is be on the lookout for opportunities to live your purpose, be your purpose, enjoy your purpose, and spread your purpose. The miracles are happening. So between the next 24 hours, you've got your RAS up, your reticulating activating system about your purpose. So lots of love, big kisses. See you tomorrow.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
I won't be able to be here tomorrow. The boys have prom. So
oh, that's right. That's right.
At this time tomorrow. So.
Yes, and I'm going on vacation tomorrow, Kathleen. I was not aware it was a 4-day thing, so I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
I would have loved to have been here.
That's okay. So the replays will be up. And
Great.
again, I'm living my purpose. I'm doing my thing and sending lots of love to each of you.
Thank you.
Okay, your presence will be here. We'll feel you and we send you lots of love. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Thank
Have a
you.
good week. Have a
Bye-bye.
nice vacation.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.